Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 408. It is Sunday afternoon, well, evening, I guess, and it is June 8th, 2025. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. Wow, time has gone by really fast, and I was probably not the one you would think that would be a crafty person. Out of all my friends, I am probably the only one that is still in it as much as I am, I guess. I love doing Facebook Lives. I love sharing. I love having stamp camps and events. And we just had the Stampin' Event yesterday. And so I have my 3 cards that we did. And they got to choose a choice between 8 cards and 16. And so when they choose 8, they get to look through all the 16 and pick which ones they want. And so I'm going to share with you the 3 cards that I had. So that way, if you've never been to a Stampin' Event, that we just had number 40. And so if you've never been to one of our events and you're close to the Twin Cities, I mean, we have people that drive 3 to 4 hours to come to our events. So join us next time. And it's going to be sometime with the new holiday mini that's coming out, focusing on that and maybe some of the new exclusives that are online available only. I just said that backwards. So if you know me, that's called Joy Speak. So I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, just look away and I'll let you know when I'm done messing around with the camera. So hold on. So hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. Mine was certainly eventful because we had the event. It was so nice to get together. Whoa, I was not holding the right, I was holding the, hi Dawn, welcome. I was holding the wrong spot on my holder, and so the camera just went boom. So hopefully nobody was watching at that time to get really motion sickness. All right. And I think I'm going to move that down a little bit. Put some light on the subject. And I think, are we good? I think we're good. All right. So again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy and a YouTube page at Joy A. Borwedge. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so go ahead and check that out. Not now, but go ahead. And then my online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, open just for you, because you never know when you might need new cardstock, right? penguinz33@outlook.com is my email address, so that if you have any questions on anything, you can always send me an email. My Stampin' for Joy Facebook page is Stampin' for Joy. And so that is it. I have some things to talk about. First of all, if you have not yet received the new catalog, let me know if you're not dealing with a demonstrator and I could send you one. Now, I redid my board here, and so we're using the new in colors. So if you haven't had a chance to see the new in colors, this is Darling Duckling. This is Timid Tiger. Strawberry Slush, which is a returning color. And this is Secret Sea. And this one here is Cloud Cover. And so hopefully, now it's also under Press and Seal. So it doesn't really take away the colors. Vibrant, but they're really fun to play with. So again, if you don't have this catalog, let me know. All right, so there's some things to talk about. This is the first time that Stampin' Up! Is doing this. This is the virtual album retreat. Now, you purchase the kit. It is the month-by-month album retreat 2025 kit, which is 167338. It is $250. And what happens is that kit comes to your place. Okay, you have it sent to your address, and then it comes with everything it takes to make 12 two-page spreads. So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And there's 4 stamp sets included. Everything is die cut for you. From what I've heard, that there's a lot and in this kit. Now, apparently, this is something that the close to my heart scrapbookers had done in the past. So now Stampin' Up!, because we now have more scrapbook products in with our line, we are bringing that into the fold. And so this is our first one. It is from July 16th through the 18th. It is from 2 to 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, if you do not have enough time for the 3 days, that's okay, because this is going to be on a virtual, exclusive Facebook page. So you can come back to it and stop it, start it, whatever you want to do. So check that out. So that is $250. Again, now with the new rewards system, you get $25 in rewards in your reward bank for purchasing this kit. Now, it comes with the, what do they call it? The scrapbook pages. So once you get done with the layout, you stick it in a preserve page. For some strange reason, my brain is not thinking what that's called right now, but you can certainly then take that $25 and place another order and purchase your album and use that $25 for your album that holds all that. So that's one way to do it. Now, Stampin' Up! Just added new products to the Last Chance product list and added new discounts to some of the things that were previously in there. So go check that out. It's while supplies last. So if there's something on there today and it's not on there tomorrow, it's not coming back. Okay? So check that out. And then also, right now, we have something that is fun. It is a sweet deal. SWEET deal. And so what they're doing is they're offering products. You can purchase a suite and then get the cheapest suite at half off. Okay? Now, you can also purchase products that are in the suites and get one half off. So if you liked a bundle from one suite and then got a bundle from another suite, whichever one is cheaper, that one is going to be half off. If you have hi Don, welcome. If you purchase one suite and then another suite, which is the cheaper value, that will be half off, okay? But then if you go into the cart and say, you know what? I really like that designer series paper out of this suite over here, and put that suite in your cart, that suite that was half off is no longer half off, because your designer series paper is now the cheapest thing, so it's going to be half off. So pay attention to your cart and what you get for half off, because it might be in your best interest. If you wanted to get a suite and you wanted to get another suite, close that order out, okay? Get another order. If you want designer series paper, put that in there, that's in a suite, and then get another designer series paper for half off. Or if you wanted to buy a bundle at regular price and get the embellishments for half off, go ahead and do that. So mix those up. So some of the suites that are in the online exclusives would happen to be the Floral Impressions Suite Collection. Now this suite is a sample of the things. Now there are 27 suites that are in the online store. They do not have a publication that they're in. So this suite sale happens to be from the annual catalog and also the online exclusives. So it's a great deal. And like I said, you can certainly get the bundle if you wanted to, and not the whole suite, and then just get another bundle out of another suite and get that half off. So you're maximizing your savings. Now this is also going through the whole month of June. So that's one example that's in the online exclusives. Now this one I've shown several times. It's the Botanical Textures Suite Collection. Now this suite happens to have two different types of designer series paper. And it has a bundle, which means it's a stamp set and a die set. And then it comes with ribbon and a mini corrugated 3D embossing folder and some embellishments. Now, not all suites are created equally. Some suites even actually have 2 sets of stamps and 2 sets of dies, like this one. This one is called Mixed Media Florals. And so you could certainly get this one for $128 and then get, say, the Botanicals Texture. Now this is $150, so that one could be half off. So that could be $50 for this whole suite and 25 cents. I mean, talk about great savings. So I just thought I would bring that up to you, and hopefully you are taking advantage of that suite sale. Now, if you look at a suite and the ribbon is sold out, that number will not work. But the individual products, if you hear children screaming in the background, there's a pool not too far away from our apartment building, and my window's open. So children are not being killed. They're outside playing in the pool and at the PlayStation or the playground. So, all right. Let's see. So yesterday we had an event, and this was number 40. And one of my cards that we made yesterday. So what happens is you get a baggie, okay? And let me bend down and get my stuff. Okay, so what you do is you get a bag, and this is number 5. So that means you would go to number 5 table and take everything out and put the card together. Now, sometimes, I should say all the time, everything is on the table that you need to make this particular card, okay? And we've taken the time to color and cut, I colored my rhinestones to match, but I cut the ribbon up that you need. Everything is die cut. All you have to do is take this pieces apart and stamp on it, and then use, hi Carolyn, watch Carolyn, welcome, and then all you do is you stamp and put things together. So this card happens to be card number 5 that we made yesterday. And let me show you the products that we used to make this card. So number 1, we used the Nested Essentials dies. It's on page 107 in the annual catalog. Oops. We have a bundle, which is the Tags of Thanks bundle. It's an online exclusive. And now I have 2 punches here. If you can see the, this one is a 1/8 circle. And this one here, let me see if I can get the light to, there we go. There's the circle. And this one is used for like a ribbon coming out of the tag. And then we have another one that I'm using today. So that's a bundle. And then we're also using the element of text. And this is an online exclusives. Now remember, all online exclusive products are while supplies last. So I do not know how many products they have on hand and when and if they will retire. So here are the products, and I do not give out measurements because if you wanted this card, you had to come. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be using Memento and Petal Pink. Now, I actually had a lot of this Petal Pink ribbon. And so what I did is I went to my color coach and I looked at Petal Pink and found something that I wanted to use to go with it. And it said the Petal Pink, Old Olive, Gray Granite, and Cherry Cobbler go really well together. And actually there were several people that made that comment that they would not have put those cards together, those colors. So we're going to use Gray Granite for the background, and we're going to ink up the larger circle. Now, sometimes, I should say a lot of the times, when I have a larger stamp, I actually like to use the ink pad to stamp. And this one, now there's words on here, but I don't know what they say because some of them are out, but there's the word little and what. So then I know that I actually have this facing the right way. And I'm just going to allow that to sit, make sure I got all my spots. Yep. And some of it's fragmented, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. I'm having an issue because I have all my stuff over that way, and normally I have it over that way. So I'm out of sorts because I'm like looking over here, over that way for my stamps and my ink pads. Okay, now we're going to take the Pretty in Pink ink pads. Now, I had several people that were having issues with opening up the newer ink pads, which is, we've had them around for a while. And so this is the old ink pad, and this is the new ink pad. This one is felt, this one is foam. And so this one, all you do is you just push the button, push down, and then you twist up. And so it comes out. This one, I find it's easier for me to grab on the back side with my fingers and put my thumb down at the end. So I am pushing and lifting at the same time. Then I push in, and that is how I like to open my ink pads. So we're going to take this blending brush. Now, several people would tap, tap, tap their blending brush. And I'm like, no, swirl, swirl. Take the color and grab it. And then they just started with the arrangement, started swirling here. And I'm like, no, generally, for the most part, right now, this area right here is going to get covered up. So my ink pad actually needs a little bit more ink. Now, this here is Pretty in Pink, and so, because that's what that says right there. And so I'm actually going to go to my Pretty Pink re-inker and grab that. Where is it? It is right here. And, nope. No, Petal Pink. I'm like, that's not right. It's Petal Pink. Because I'm like, that's in the subtles of one I got. And Petal Pink is right here. So let me show you how I ink up my ink pads. So I get that fuzzy off. So I'm just going to put drops of ink on here. And you could see that it is sucking in really quick. And you can put too much ink on here. I know I've done that. And so what I've done in the past is I've had to take some paper and just lay it on and let it soak up just a tad bit. But what a waste to re-inker, right? All right, so I think that is enough because these are just going away, just a tad bit. I'm going to leave my lid off, and I'm going to grab my blending brush, and I'm just going to swirl around the re-inker and kind of push that in a little bit. Now I have a lot of ink on my ink pad, and I could tell. So I'm just going to let that, I'm going to put my re-inker back on, and when I order an ink pad, I always order the re-inker. And I would prefer a juicier ink pad than not. So we're actually going to just swirl some of that blotchiness off and then grab some color and swirl out. Now, when I literally took the brush because she was going like this, and then she was like tapping it like this, and I'm like, no, you take it. And now this one I don't actually want to come in on here. So I start on the inside and work my way out. And I said, do swirling motions, because then you're actually spreading that color in a nice, even way, and you're not going to have a lot of blotchiness. And she was very happy with my explanation. See how I put that down? And so we're going to just swirl out a little bit more. I don't necessarily want to stay within that. So there's a little bit that ended up over here, and I kind of like that. All right, so I'm done with that for now. So I'm just going to close that up and put that there, because I might want to go back to it. I'm not sure. And so we're actually done with this one for now. We're going to grab the gray granite and do my little square. And that one, this one has words on it as well. And I could see the word the and life. So what I did is I just started at the top and stamped on there and moved that over a little bit and then had another one. I mean, you really cannot read any of that, except for maybe a couple few words. Okay, so the gray granite. Charlie was laying on my table today. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I posted that, and I was taking some cards that were from previous events, and I was putting them together. And so I was redesigning them to include non-retired stamps. And so I'm like I went to bed at about 1:30 in the morning. I wasn't going to put the stuff away because I knew that once I got up and church was over that I would continue on that. And so I'm like, Charlie, how could you be comfy? And then I went over there because my cats basically stay off my tabletop, and he was laying on stuff because 99.9%, gosh darn it, why is there stuff on there? Clean my work surface once I'm done. I cannot create when there's a mess. I can create an organized mess, but I cannot create. I look at the table and I'm like, I am dumbfounded. Because my mind does not allow me to get past. Yesterday, we were, having the, like I said, we were at the event, and so somebody asked me for something, and I was looking all over the table for it, and it was sitting right in front of me. I can't see things. I see mess, I see clutter, but I don't see individual. It works. It takes me a while to find things. things. So if it seems like I'm like scatterbrained, it's not really true, but it is true. All right, so we got those stamped. We're going to come back to this now, and we are going to put together our those kids. We're going to use the cherry cobbler and the old olive, and we're going to add some splatter, and I love that this set has splatter in it. All right, I'm going to take a drink. All right, I'm having a Mike's Hard Cold Strawberry Lemonade, and it is quite yummy. All right, so while at the event, because the two splatters had different inks, I put the color of the ink pad on there so that they would be able to figure out what ink pad it's supposed to go with, because I really did not want my old olive to have cherry cobbler. Oh, and I gotta do the inside, so I can't do that yet. All right. Seriously, there are kids outside screaming bloody murder when they're having fun, so nobody's getting hurt. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and I'm going to twist this around, and we're going to do one more down there. Okay, so that is it for now for the splatter, and I'm actually going to move the splatters and the ink pads out of my way for just a few seconds, because we're going to do the inside of the card. And actually, what I really should have done is the inside of the card first, because if I made a boo-boo, I could take care of that very easily. Let's see. My inside, we're going to say, for you, you made my whole day. And so whoever you made this card for, or whoever you send this card to, you can be sure to use it. Okay, so we're going to put on here, you made my whole day. And that is in Memento. Okay, so now we're going to bring the cherry cobbler back in. And we're going to add a little bit. Hi, Pauline, welcome. All right, so we're going to put a little bit there. And I really need to get some new ink pads in the foam and not the, but I do like the felt ones. So, it works. So why do I want to buy a new one? I don't need to. I want to. So I have to behave and do. And this is a foam one. And I do like the foam as well. I find that when I am at a stamping event like yesterday, people just stamp with a heavy hand, as much as I can say. That's all I can say, I should say. All right, so we're just going to go tap, 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 and squish that down in there, and we're going to put that in there. And you made my whole day. So now we like that, so we're going to attach that to the cherry cobbler, and we're actually done stamping. But I'm going to attach this with my adhesive, which I just filled this up today, so we will not run out. And so we're going to put this on the front, and I made it so that this is not 1/4 of an inch around, because I wanted to see more of the cherry cobbler on here. So like I said, I took, let's see here. So this is what I use. And this, I didn't want to cut this up and because I want to be able to see them at the same place. So like I used Petal Pink, which is right here, okay? But I decided that those are not the colors that I wanted to go with. So what I did was look for Petal Pink, and here's one, and so how about Cherry Cobbler? Because I have Cherry Cobbler, and did I already pass it? I think I passed it. Cherry Cobbler. But I really love using my color coach to get me out of a color funk, because I want to go and use colors that I haven't used for a while. Maybe it's on the first page. Yeah, Cherry Cobbler. There it is. No, that's not the color we used. How about Old Olive? Now I picked one, or maybe Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral, Old Olive. Yep, Calypso Coral. No, there is not. That's not the one I picked. Old Olive then. Let's look for that one. So here I'm trying to show you how to do it, and it just didn't work out right. Old Olive and Petal Pink. Okay, so then Calypso Coral. No, I used that. Well, why did that work? Great Granite? Was that the one? That's in the back. Great Granite. Okay, so Great Granite, Petal Pink. Boy, that didn't work out right, did it? Okay. Well, it must have worked somehow, because I got the colors on here. Petal Pink, no. Well, that's how I do it. So it worked out nice, I guess. Even though I can't find the one that I picked. Okay, so we're going to take the little tiny punch that we used out of the tag of thanks. So it creates, just by the punches, it creates a tag. And so in that stamp set, we have, friend, I appreciate you. For you, thanks. You're the best. You made my whole day. So lucky to know you. Couldn't do it without you. So these are things that you could put on a tag, but you can also put them on the inside of the card. So I really liked this. It was one of the things that I had to get when I did my pre-order. Now, this ribbon was recently put on the last chance list, and it's still available. It comes in a pack of Petal Pink and white, and they have this really nice diagonal stripe in it on both of them, and they're so soft. So what I did is I took the two tails. Come on, my fingers are not working. And I even put lotion on them today so that they would, be nicer. That didn't work. All right, so we're going to put that, we're going to pull gently, okay? And then it's going to create that tag. And I'm just pulling on one at a time, and then we're going to just snip that. Now today we are making, I made 3 cards for the event, okay? But I have 4 cards today because one of the cards I did with 2 different colors. So we're going to make both of those colors in today's video. So we're going to do 2 cards at the same time. Now, one of the things that I like to do is give away the cards that I make during the videos. So we're going to have 4 different winners from this video. All right, so this is going to go directly on here, and Then we're going to take this. This is a piece of scrap, but it adds so much to this card by just placing that right there. Okay, so I don't necessarily carry things this small in my scrap bin, but I cut them to that because I designed this card that way, using my scraps first. So I am going to grab my holder that my friend Carolyn gave me, and we're going to put a little tiny bit of glue on here, just like that, and it's going to hang over. And we're going to just lay that right down there. And perfect. Okay. And then this one is the For You. And we're going to put dimensionals on that. Uh-oh, we're getting close to the end. I'm not going to have enough dimensionals, I think, for this video, so I'll have to go get some more. That's not too far away from me. All right, so we got 2 there. And I'm going to grab my people poker and get rid of those. Come on. Off and off. Throw those in my garbage. All right, so we're going to put that right here. I want to see this, and I want to see a little bit of the cherry cobbler. Then we're going to put that also on dimensionals. And so we're getting down there. So I'm just going to use that whole big piece, and I'm going to put that right there. And then we're going to use that piece right there. And then we're going to just take that off in my dreams. And there we go. So now we're just going to grab our, and a little bit off center. And then now I took the Calypso Coral dark, what is that, blend, and I colored my rhinestones. I have to say that the rhinestones are the most used my rhinestones are the most used embellishments for me. And the reason why is because I have blends. And so I am going to color them to coordinate with my project. And I like sparkle. So, I mean, you can see in person, like if this was a Calypso Coral flat pearl, it might have a little shine to it, okay? But I kind of like the faceted look of the gems. And that's just me. But I'm trying to use ribbon more. I'm trying to use different embellishments. I'm trying to expand my color horizon. So what do you think of card number 1 that we did today? Technically, it was card number 5 at the event. So if you went to the event, you got to make one of these cards. Now, seeing as how I have, let's see, so I have samples, and I am making a card tonight, so I am going to give away this card. And how you can do that is if you do a thumbs up or a heart, your name gets entered into the drawing. Leave a comment. All you have to do is say hi. That gets your name entered into the drawing. Share this on your timeline. That gets entered into the drawing. So that's card number 1 for the evening. And that, you know what? I forgot the Wink Stella. And I put that on the 4. you. Now I am just going to lightly go in, I'm going to paint it on with a very light touch. And I do not wish to go over the lines because somebody's going to win this card. I want it to look good. I don't want it to look like a third grader made it. All right. And everybody that I talked to yesterday had a great time. And so that is card number 1. Technically card number 5. And so number 2, technically number 6, is coming up in a second. And however, I am just going to put, I'm going to put all my stamps back in the bin that I just got done using, but I have to color them. And then after we're done, I get to put everything away. Actually, I have to start designing for the virtual event. That is coming up. I do not have a date yet, but Heidi and I will be doing our virtual event. And we'll be using the same kits from yesterday, but they are going to be reimagined. So, okay, so that's card number 5. Technically number 5. So we're going to put that right here. All right. And this card was, I designed a card not too long ago, did a Facebook Live for it, and I told you I was designing a card for the event, and I was using I was going to make it similar, okay? So I used the Coneflower Celebration dies. Now, the Coneflower, okay, actually everything here you see, technically except for the words, get cut out by a die, all right? So this coneflower stamped right there. You can either A, cut this line in half and have an individual flower, or you can squish that together and have this as part of your card. And you can put a sentiment on the inside. I've done that before. And so we also used Forever Plaid in this card. And here are the dies. It's a 2-pager. And because they couldn't get it all on one page. And then we're also using the Everyday Arches. And so let me show you the card. Now, this is a fun fold, but I'm not going to show you how it opens, but I'm going to show you how to put it together and create this card. Now, I actually ran out of Darling Duckling paper. When I was able to order the catalog, out of the catalog to get this was not on our pre-order. So it was not something that I could have before the catalog went live. So the day the catalog went live, I went and ordered this stamp set. And I did not know what my design was going to entail. When I was cutting up the product, the designer series paper, the Darling Duckling, I realized I had to pivot because I did not have enough cardstock to do this as a Darling Duckling. So I had to introduce the pumpkin pie and so this was going to be more of a tone-on-tone type thing, but it turned out really beautiful this way. So just to let you know that the reason why we're doing the flower the way we are is because I had to conserve cardstock to make all the kits. All right, so that is that card. So we don't need anything here. Okay. I'm going to just put that up there so I don't lose it. And we're going to start out with how I basically sat at this table and told everybody what to do, but they loved it. And it's not as scary as it looks, but there's just parts to it, and it's easy to do it when you have an order to do it in. Because I should have, or would have loved to have had 2 different stamp sets. So then that way, when you're stamping, you're not basically hogging the card or the ink pad. So I'm putting my yellows right there, my leaves right here. I'm going to have to stamp on that. We're not doing anything with this, and we're not doing anything with that. And we are doing something with this. And so we're going to leave that alone for now. And we're going to put this up here. So I'm organizing my space. And I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pearson mat. And we're going to get together. Or get going. Okay, so we have Early Espresso, Pumpkin Pie, and Darling Duckling, and Lemon Lime Twist. So, yeah, there we go. I should put all my ink pads up there, and then I know where they're at. And these are all the stamps. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the flower. And this piece right here does not sync up with that. The reason why is because technically this, when you flip it upside down and you do I should have had this yesterday. It would have been a lot easier to explain. So when you stamp this, you cannot take this stamp and stamp it on here. It doesn't line up, okay? In order to do this, you would have to stamp on the jagged edge because that lines up. So when you close it, that is how it lines up. So if you wanted to have just a single flower, just have your cardstock, just that piece. Because otherwise you're going to waste this piece by thinking you're going to stamp on it, and you're going to basically have to stamp the back side of it in order to work. So I hope you understood what I just said. Okay, so we're going to grab the Darling Duckling. Now this is a big stamp. So again, I like to take my ink pad to my stamp, and I don't care if that lines up. I just want to line up the stamps, the petals, okay? And we're just going to push down, allow that ink to transfer, and see how nicely that turned out, okay? So we're going to put that over there. Now this is the nice side of the die. We want the jagged edge because it's going to line up with this one, and I can line up the petals with that. So I don't need the whole stamp. I just need the edges, okay? So this way we are creating the illusion of another whole flower underneath. Okay, see how that is? All right, so now we're done with that. So we're gonna close up the Darling Duckling, and we're going to open up the pumpkin pie. Oops. And we're gonna grab the blending brush, get the splotchiness off, and we're gonna create the color. on our flower. And you can go as dark as you want or as light as you want. Now see how I'm starting over here and it's kind of getting dark over here? We're going to flip this around and come off this side. And it doesn't matter if this is getting color because it's going to get covered up anyways. And I want to make sure that I retain some yellow on here. Otherwise, I could have just used the pumpkin pie cardstock. All right, so here we go again. We're going to do the same thing. Just a little bit. I did not do that. I grabbed the wrong one. I meant to grab this one. You're not going to see that, what I just did, so that's why I stopped. This is the one that you want. And I'm going to flip this upside down because I'm going to hold on to the knob of the flower head. And I'm actually going to speckle some of that and then blend it in. All right. So see that lovely color shading on that. Okay, so we're going to leave this open. No, we're going to close this. We're not done with this yet. I'm going to just do one thing at a time. Okay, so what I had them do yesterday was put 2 dimensionals. I'm going to put a dimensional right here and a dimensional, not that one, right here. And we're going to stab and grab those at a slight angle. Whoops, not the whole dimensional, just the backing. Okay, there we go, and there we go. Throw those away. Come on. And then we're going to put this right on top, and you can stagger it if you want. You don't have, you can have it just leaning a little bit more. You could just have it, I'm just going to leave it like that. So it gives the illusion that there's another whole flower under there. We're going to put adhesive right on the flower head. And then we're going to, first of all, I have a bone folder, and we're just going to rip that off. We're going to take care of that. Gently rip. Just, we'll tuck that. We'll glue that right on in. Nobody will even know. All right, so we have the color that, and then now we're going to add that right on top. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of glue there and do a little surgery. And again, nobody's going to even know. And we're just going to just tap it right in so it stays. Okay, then I'm just going to take a drink. I'm doing a lot of talking. All right, so we're going to snip off. So what I had them do is snip a little bit off the side and a little bit towards kind of like where the, try not to snip off your flower, and then the petal edge, and then a little bit off the top, maybe even round it a little bit on the corners. Okay, because we're going to put the early espresso piece on top, I don't want any of the darling duckling to peek out from underneath it. So then now we are going to put, this is upside down, so we're going to put the, just fell on the floor. After I'll go get it. Oh. Okay, so we're going to put that right here. Okay, so now we're going to take off the backings. Come on.
one's not coming off. There we go. Fine. Stay sticking to me. All right, so we're going to take that. Now, the bigger piece of the coneflower centers are on the bottom. Okay, and there we go. Isn't that a cool flower? I mean, the dimension on that. And once you see it with the rest of the card and the Stella, beauteous. All I say, beauteous. Okay, so we're going to stamp. We're going to leave that. All right, we're going to grab the greens and the leaves. That is lemon lime twist. Okay, so there are 2 leaves, and the dies cut out the cardstock, and they also have dies to do the greens. Okay, so there's one, and there's the other one. I'm not the best at stamping on top of the cardstock. I prefer to actually stamp and then cut out, but that's okay. We're gonna fix that because the bottom parts we're not gonna see, but that top piece right there, I kind of want to fix that. And give a little tiny bit of edging off. All right, nobody's gonna really notice that probably, but I still want to fix it. I might as well fix this one too. All right, those are done. So we'll put those off over here. Okay, I'm gonna stamp this, and this is going to say happy birthday. And we need that to be an early espresso. We're not using any black here. Now I gave everybody enough space on here to stamp. And actually, I'm going to do this differently. I am going to make my banner. And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool and poke a hole on my Glass Mat Studio, and then I'm able to cut towards something so it's a little bit more centered than if I were to snip up, because every time I snip up I'm always lopsided and it drives me nuts. So that is good. I like that. So that is how I figured out what my problem was and how to fix it. And I have a fuzzy on there. This is the reason why my cats do not hang out on my table. It's like, and Charlie takes up a lot of space because he is a big boy. He's long. Doesn't weigh a lot, but he's long. All right, so now that I like that, we're going to put that right in there, and I hope it's straight. It is good. Yay! All right, then I'm going to snip that off a little bit right at the edge. Okay, so that is good. Let's toss that little piece away. Get rid of that out of my way. And so now we are going to do the harder part. It's not hard, but it took up a lot of time, so that was okay. I think it was worth it in the end. So again, this is a bigger stamp. Now if I had a foam pad in pumpkin, it would be a lot easier, but this one is felt and it is bendy, so that's not, it's curved in the center. So people were not getting, oh, I'm going to turn my fingers colored. people were not getting good inked images. And so we're just going to push down. And I'm going to do this several times. But I also want to show the inside. So what I'm doing is lining up this edge of the flower to this edge here. Stamping, inking that up, and it's going to go right there, pushing down, making sure that the contact with the paper. Now, I didn't show people this because I didn't want to have them have issues, but I inked up this right here, and I'm going to get my little knobby of my head right there. And then I'm going to do the corner piece right there. So now we have the speckles. So we're just going to speckle our stamp. Now I'm keeping the stamp in my hand facing one way. I am just turning my paper, so I do not have to turn my stamp. Otherwise, I'm going like this and like that. To me, it's a lot faster just to turn my paper. Okay, so that is the outside of the card. Now we're going to do the inside of the card. We're going to take this flap and fold that completely over. We're going to take this flap and fold it completely over. We're going to do the same thing we just did. And you'll see why once we do the inside of the card. I'm kind of showing you a different way to decorate your inside of your card, but still bring the party to the inside. I'm just going to do 3 flowers in here, unlike the outside. Because, I mean, you guys do want to get to bed at some point in time tonight, right? I know I do. Okay, and then one more. And the reason why we're folding this over is because you don't want... I wanted to keep the edges clean. So, again, we're going to do the speckles. And we're going to move the paper. Some of this will be covered up, but that's okay. And you can speckle your flower too. Okay, I think I am done. See? That's the inside of the card. We're not done yet. Okay, so then now we are going to do the inside of the card. And I had people yesterday ask me, did you come up with this idea? And I said, yep. And they're like, well, how'd you do that? And the thing is that you see something somewhere else, right? You see some things, like if you're at a furniture store, okay, and you saw a color combination that you liked, not that you were going to necessarily buy that rug or the couch or you just loved the colors that were being used. You could take that color combo and put it in your paper crafting. You could do a layout for a scrapbook based upon those colors that you really liked, okay? So I watch videos while I'm stamping. I don't necessarily stare at them, but a layout might catch my eye. So I saw somebody do a card. Now I know that I've done a card with this much space on this side. I know that I've done a card with this much space on this side. But I don't know where I saw that or who I saw that. But I saw a card not too recently, a demo did, and I don't remember who it was, that she had this layout. And I'm like going, you know, I've done that. I haven't done it for a while. I'm going to do that again. And that's how I came about with this card. But let's see here. This is my first card that I ever did with the coneflower. And so the coneflower, I just stamped it all over on the back. And when I was designing this card for this particular event, I was like, I don't know if I want to use any designer series paper because I don't want it to clash. And then I'm like, hey, I did that on a card not too long ago using the coneflower on there. And so that's where, you know, it's something that I did, but I did it again, but a different way, different color. So that's how I'm inspired by all different types of things. I love layouts, fun folds, and color combinations. So somebody's color combination over here might be inspiring me to go further on somebody, you know, another card down the line. And so that's how I do it. Now, sometimes if I have something like one day I used the embellishments for my colors. And because something that I hadn't used yet, it was some embellishments that it was like a mini catalog or something like that. And I'm like, I haven't used those. What can I do with it? And so I took the colors of the embellishments and I used that as my color combo. I have gone into the catalog and looked at the designer series paper of colors that I do not own yet and allowed Stampin' Up! To tell me what colors went well together, not even having that stamp set, not even having, so it's just a lot of things that come into my mind when it comes to being creative, because you know what? I do not consider myself, when I first started out stamping, I did not consider myself creative at all. And so what I did is I allowed me to be influenced by other people's creativity and made it my own. So I really like the saying, copy and selectively edit. I heard that not too long ago and I'm like, yes, that perfectly describes me. Because then once you, if you don't consider yourself, creative, take the catalog, pick a card out that you like, copy the layout, but change the color. Take another card that you like the color, find a different layout, mix them. So that's how I started feeling like, wow, I did that. That turned out pretty cool. Okay, I need to get some dimensionals. Oops. Booby trapped. so, because that was several comments about, you're so creative, and I was like, I don't know. Because we all start somewhere, right? You know? I mean, Picasso didn't start painting. I'm sure he did, actually. But, you know, it just takes a little while sometimes. Like my sister, she's an artist, and she gets paid for it. Me? I create cards. It's another different type of art. So, I enjoy it. But that's how I get creative. All right, so take your finger poker, take your people poker, and just stab this. So what I did is I put this upside down, and that way it allowed me to put the dimensionals within this space and not feel like I was gonna see them. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to line this up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna move it over a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. We are now pretty even. Okay, right there. And so we should not see the dimensionals. Cool. All right, so then now we're going to lay on our banner that was from the Nested Essentials. And that's what I was looking for. Now, because we are using a flat surface on an embossed surface, put a lot of adhesive on there. And this white piece is giving the flower a break so that it's not yellow on yellow. You see a little bit of that white there, and then it allows you to see it better. It's not so blended in. Okay, so there we go. That's where I want it. And I put on just adhesive everywhere. Now I'm just going to lay it on here.
You're a boy. She's a girl.
And I'm going to lay that there. And then I can adjust my leaves where I want them to be. I want that. Oops. Stop it. Stop moving. Okay. That's where I want it. Right there. That one. This one, not so much. There we go. I want that one under here. Yep. And I want it over. Okay. So we got everybody where we want them. Okay. And then, so because this is raised up, we're just going to put adhesive on that. But over here, it's not raised up. So we're going to put a mini dimensional on that side. And I love the fact that we have two different types of dimensionals. We have a mini and we have the standard size. Okay, so then now we're going to put the adhesive. See, it was sitting right in front of me and I was looking for it. We're going to put that right there. Okay. And then, oops, I didn't want to see that embellishment through. I'm going to poke that up just a little bit to the top more because I don't want it to be seen on the other side. All right, we'll just grab another one then, because I just ripped that puppy apart. All right, there we go. We'll do that again. Right on top. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now we didn't see it. Okay. Now we are going to take the gems that I used Darling Duckling on with the blends. And I always use my nib tip. So then that way I keep my brushes kind of not from being beat up by the edges of the, actually I'm going to put that right there, because I'm creating a triangle with my embellishments, and we'll put that back, and we'll grab the Wink of Stella. Now the Wink of Stella, we are going to put kind of where those openings are. You could make them pop out if you wanted to. I did not. I just want to put Wink of Stella on them and make them sparkly, because that's a lot of time poking them and then going through the ear, you know, the post, and I'm just going to put a little bit right here, and then on the inside I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pearson mat, clean that off just in case there's any type of ink, and I'm going to kind of go where my butterfly is with the Wink of Stella. Again, we're going to swipe that off, and we're going to go where the cone is and kind of where the lines are on. So there we go. What do you think of that card? Okay, that was card number 6, technically number 2 for the night. And so again, this was the card the first time I designed it. And that was Facebook Live number 402, if you wish to go back and see it. And if you miss 402, you can always go 402 on my YouTube channel. And then here is the original card that I came up with. This was for a Facebook Live number 404. And so you can kind of see a difference. Okay, I changed it up a little bit, but I created it for the event. All right, so this is the card that somebody's going to get a chance to win. So all you have to do is do a thumbs up or a heart to get entered. Leave a comment on this video. And if you share this on your timeline, that gets you 2 different entries to win that card. Now, like I said, I'm picking 4 winners. So if you win card number 1 that I did tonight, then your name gets out of the drawing and you get that card. Now, if you are new to me and I pick your name, I will contact you through Facebook Messenger and say, hi, thank you very much for watching video number, this one is 408. You won card number 2. Please send me your address. I do not spam you. I do not send you information about upcoming events. I do not do that. I do not send you information about my next upcoming stamp camp. That is something that you need to do. Now, if you continue watching Facebook Lives, I will show. And then if you have a question, you can always answer. Now, once I have your address and you still watch my videos, that's the only time you will be, you'll be in on the fact that you're going to receive a card in the mail. The next time, it's going to be, surprise, I don't tell my winners they won. So except for the first one. Okay, so this is card number 2. And I'm just putting everything away so that way I can get card number 3 ready. And technically number 7. And we'll get that. And this was the hardest one. It wasn't hard. It was just the longest one. But everybody loved it. Okay, so this one is featuring the suite that is on page, let's see here. It's called the Florals in Bloom, and it's a suite collection. So this will definitely be one of those suites that are on sale. So if you find, so the suite collection number is 165193. It's 122. So if you find another suite that you like it, that will be half off if it's cheaper than this one. If it's more expensive, then this one is cheaper. So I love the fact, and see, this one has 2 stamp sets. So I mean, this is a really great time right now to get suites, get the products in the suites, and get them cheaper. All right, I'm just going to take a drink for a second here. All right, so we're using the Sweet Blooms and then the Pretty Florals. Now, these guys have dies that come with it, but I did not use them in this particular card. And so this color features, hi Rita, welcome. This color features the new in color Secret Sea, which is the dark blue. And this one features the Strawberry Slush, and that's an incoming color. So then we have a circle punch, but here is what the stamp set does for the Pretty Florals. Over here is a stamp set, the items, and then they get cut out by dies. Everything here are just beautiful dies. Now, the designer series paper that's in that suite is called Florals in Bloom, and it is a 12 by 12 designer series paper, and it has quite a few of our coordinating colors that go with this. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the way and grab my, now like I said, we're making one of each color. So I'm going to pick 2 winners for that. Okay. I just have to grab my bin. And okay, so this is number 7. And I have it so that on the table it was listed that A goes together, because this is a 2-step stamp. So I had a listing of what A looks like, and that happens to be on the Strawberry Slush. Okay, and then I had the Strawberry Slush finger dauber, and then we have the Petunia Pop, which is stuck to my Secret Sea. And so this is Petunia Pop. So that goes over here with the Petunia Pop. Now it shares Secret Sea ink, and it shares the Granny Apple Green. And here is the Petunia Pop, and then it shares the stamps that are in here. So the designer series paper told me that Petunia Pop is in this selection of color, and the Secret Sea is the main color. Now, this is a really pretty blue. It's like Night of Navy and black kind of baby. It is really pretty. But if you put it next to another color, come on, if you put it next to another color, you can see the more blue it is. Okay, so that is this grouping over here. I'm going to try to do things efficiently. This is the inside of the card, so I'm actually going to do that first, but I want to get my pieces set up so that I stamp. So I don't do anything with this right away. So I'm going to lay that over there to the side, and then I'm going to stamp this, and I'm going to stamp that, I'm going to stamp this. Now we're going to get the strawberry slush situated. And we have the rhinestones, which are these I decided not to color. I just let them be clear because that's their original state. And yes, I do that. I don't always color them, but I like it. Okay, so this is strawberry slush. This is a returning in color. And this was an in color before, so I'm glad that they brought it back. All right, so I'm going to kind of keep these situated. I'm going to grab my mat again. Okay, so this is my Stampin' Pearson mat. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to punch this out on both things. Okay, and that way I know where my image needs to be stamped. So it has a parameter. A lot of the times I stamp first and then cut out. And by the way, this is the online exclusive. This is the 2 3/8 punch. Okay, so then now we're going to stamp the green, Granny Apple green, and I'm going to move my gems over here so I can have my ink pad open. All right, so just tap, tap, tap. Okay, and then we're going to stamp that green all the way down to the bottom so that it allows me, oh man, I got an edge there. Gosh darn it. Luckily, Stampin' Up! Paper allows you to, I'm going to clean that off. Luckily, Stampin' Up! Allows you to be able to make a boo-boo like that, flip it over, and not see that underneath it. So it's not that, it's a really nice cardstock. All right, so tap, 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 no squishing. Okay, no squishing. All right, so we're going to do that again. All right, see? We're going to do that again over here on this one. All right, so that is good. And so we're going to clean that off in a little while. We're going to close that up. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 flowers. For the, actually, let's do, I'm going to do the banner. Might as well do that and get that out of the way. And then we can put those over to the side because we're not, that is Secret C. And then we're going to do Have A. Just tap, tap, tap. This is not black, but it has a really nice coloring. Okay, so it's not as dark as black. Okay, Have A. So we're going to put that with their pieces, and we're going to close that up. Ink pads are an open invitation to get inky fingers. Now this, again, why did I put that Secret C away? I'm going to use that. When you have a detailed piece, for me, it's a lot easier to see the detailed piece because it's darker and there's less of it. Okay, so we're going to take that one, and then we're going to take its background, and I'm going to move this over there because I'm not going to use it now, but I'm going to use it with the Petunia Pop. Okay, the Petunia Pop, we're going to take that, ink that up. We're going to stamp it off. We're going to grab that finger dauber that I labeled Petunia Pop. And we're just going to grab some color. We're just going to hit the edges, okay? And what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to have a two-toned. And I'm going to take this off because I don't need that anymore. But I'm going to use my scissors to see this area right here and that area right there and these areas right here, those little divots. I'm going to line that up on my Secret C, and that's going to help me position it perfectly. So it's a lot easier to see the dark first than the light, and then try to see the divots on here to line up. So see how there's variegated color there? Isn't that pretty? Okay, we're going to need to do that again. So we're going to do that in a little bit. So we're just going to move that over. We're done with this piece, so we're going to put that with that. We're going to do the same thing with the strawberry slush. We're going to put that over there. So we're going to leave this. We're going to put the Petunia Pop over there. And now we're going to use, I'm sorry, I need Petunia Pop. Wait, no. Strawberry slush. I need strawberry slush because I already did the Petunia Pop. Joy, joy, joy. There we go. Get that over there. Get this right here. And these go over there. This is really how it goes. Okay. All right. So we're going to take the strawberry slush tag off because I don't want them to mix up the ink pads. Okay. So again, we're going to do that, or I'll just leave that on, and Petunia Pop, or sorry, Secret C. Now this is a different type of flower, okay? So we're going to just line that up like that in Secret C. And we're going to put that over here so we don't get the colors mixed up. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just tap, tap, tap in the strawberry slush, take it off, the first generation, and we're going to grab the second generation with the finger dauber. Now you could do this with any flower, okay? So a part of doing this event, I like to show techniques and maybe teaching somebody something that they don't already know. Okay, so we're going to lay that down. Didn't that turn out pretty? Okay, so we're going to leave those over there and put that away for now. We'll just leave those colors out of the way. So now we're going to do the inside of the card, because if you mess up, you can fix it. All right, so we're going to use the Secret C, and we're going to use the word lovely. Now, again, this is a really large stamp, so we're just going to take the ink and we're going to go tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Now, you don't have to say tap, 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 but it reminds you not to go squish, squish, squish. No squishing. Okay, so then now we're going to take this, line this up, and make sure that all that ink comes off. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Now, I had a problem a couple times where you leave it like this, and then you're taking your fingers, and then all of a sudden it drops up, and you hit the ink on your inked up stamp. So you messed it up. So that's why I bent it back really well. So that now when I touch this or touch this, it's not flipping that bottom piece up to hit the inked stamp. Okay, so now, oops, there is a fuzzy right there. So now we're just going to take this and line this up and go right on in. Beauteous. Okay, and so then we are going to clean that off in just a little bit. We don't need to do it right now. So we're going to do Day in Strawberry Slush. We're wishing somebody a lovely day. Okay, we're going to clean this. We're going to put that over here. And then we're going to do Day in Petunia Pop. All right, so 2 people are going to have a lovely day. And we're going to clean that off. We might as well clean off all the other pieces that we have as of now. And then we'll come back and do the flowers once we're done. Okay. Speak, speak, speak. All right. Now this one, we could do Let Joy Bloom, Bloom Where You're Planted. So and the dies also have that in there. So I really love the versatility of this stamp set. Okay, so now we're going to do the Petunia Pop. So we're going to do the flowers again. We're going to do the highlight. Okay. And then we're going to do the Petunia Pop. And we're going to stamp that off. And then we're going to go back in with the finger dauber. And then we're going to line those little divots in because we can see them better because they are dark on our cardstock. Or I mean, because the Secret C was the darker color underneath, so we could see that so much better. All right, so that's going to be with this one over here. And then we're going to put that one over there to be cleaned. And we're going to close up that ink pad because we're done with it. And that way we don't accidentally, get that in there. Okay, so now we're going to do the Secret C again. And we're going to go right there. And get rid of that. So the Secret C is officially done. This is a beautiful in color. If you don't have it, I suggest getting it. And the Strawberry Slush, absolutely love it as well. And okay, so we're going to take that color off. We're going to stamp that off. Grab that with the finger dauber. Now, you don't have to have finger daubers for every color. I used to, but I don't anymore. I just rinse mine out. Okay, so I think I got it. Yes, I did. I mean, how pretty is that? Okay, so then now we're going to close that up. All right. So we're going to take this card and put it together. And I think I'm going to grab my silicone mat. My silicone mat happens to be my favorite thing to use when I'm using my adhesive. And the reason why is because sometimes I tend to go off and I get my glass mat inked up, and I really don't want to ink it up because I might set something in it. with the adhesive, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not that bad. I clean it off a lot. Okay, so for me, I like the darker color down at the bottom. So we're going to do that. Come on. This one did this already to me today. Have you ever had it where you're, what do you call it? This thing doesn't rewind itself and it gets stuck. It stays. So I'm just rolling it back in so that I can get my adhesive. Oh, now it came out. No, 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 don't do that to me. Not while I'm live, please. Okay. Who's laughing? I'm laughing at me. Not loudly, but I'm laughing. Okay. Do. Does this ever happen to any of the paper crafters out there? I mean, grr. All right. See if I can do this and not swear loudly. Come on, get in there. Did I do this right? I hope I did it right. All right, so we're going to put that in here. Oh, nope, backwards. Upside down. There we go. We're going to put that in there. Put that on. Yay, I did it. I can't believe I fixed that on live, too. Hoofda. All right, so we're using different colors from the Designer Series paper to show you how well everything coordinates together. Okay. And plus, showing you how to use up scraps. Now, there happens to be enough color on here so that we're going to sponge. I don't know what my husband was getting excited about on TV, but I had to tell him to keep it down a little bit. Okay, so this is going to go online. So we're going to, we're going to, upside down, we're going to put on dimensionals. And there we go. We're just going to stab and grab those backings. Okay. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And then we're going to go over to this one. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab the Secret C. No, we're not. We're going to leave that sit there for a second. We're going to put this Designer Series paper together. And see, that's a flower, so I know that that is facing that way. So that's how it's supposed to situate. Some Designer Series paper is directional. I used to be a florist. I kind of know which way flowers should stand up or sit down. Okay, this side, it doesn't matter because we're going to put the ones with the little pinstripes, jaggy marks. I don't know. I like that. I like that Secret Sea and cloud cover together. I mean, it's just a beautiful, it's kind of warm. And now this one, all your flowers are all over the place. So like if it was this one would have to face up first, but I didn't want those colors to clash. So that is the reason why I picked that one. And just think of how many cards you can make with this in so many different color combinations. Okay, and then this one, we're going to grab the Petunia Pop, and we're going to finger dauber the outside edge. Okay, now I will just go take these and rinse them underwater so that I can reuse them again. And I just do it until, I just let it sit there until they come clean. The water is clear. I do the same thing with my blending brushes. I have 6 of the big ones and I have 6 of the little ones. And I leave them. This one I rinsed out and I let them sit on a paper towel. And so the color just gets, if there's any color in there or any wetness, that's how they'll dry. And so by tomorrow, when I'm going to use these again, maybe it'll be dry. And plus I have 2 other ones that aren't even wet. So that's how I rinse mine out. Okay, and so I'm going to take the tops off. Stab and grab those backings. And then I'm going to put that right there. Oh, I put that too close to the... I didn't put down too hard, I hope. Save it, save it, save it. Oofta. Okay. That one. I need to be able to put this down. So that's the reason why I had to hold that. All right, so let's just move that. That is going to go right there to the, I'm going to do it over the edge. I'm going to go all the way to the white. I kind of like that. Kind of breaks up the color there. And then that goes right at the edge there. Okay. And seeing as how, might as well flip that over and put that on my Secret Sea. And again, I have the larger border on the outside rather than the 1/4 inch. So then that way you could still see it. And this one, did I leave enough space? No. I have to lift it. And hopefully... So if you make a card like this, put your banner on first. And then know where to stick your... I did it. Ha ha ha. All right, so we'll stick that down like that. Okay, so like I said, these were the cards that we did at the event yesterday. And I like to, share what we've done. So then that way people can say, oh, that's a beautiful card. I would like to come and make the next one. And then, it's kind of like a, here's what you missed kind of thing. Or you're new to stamping and you want to kind of try your stuff out without having to own anything. Or if you are a paper crafter and you're just getting back into it, wet your whistle and come on, sign up for the next event, which we don't have a date yet, but it will be featuring the holiday mini plus the online exclusives that were brought out to then, or introduced by then. Okay, so now we need to put our embellishments on here, and we're going to grab the putty part. And, okay, so as an ex-florist, I was always taught, that just stuck to my finger, so I'm putting that there. I was always taught to put the darker color down at the bottom because it gives you more weight. Same thing with the embellishments. For me, I like to put the larger embellishment, which I just scraped onto the glass mat. But I like to put that on the bottom as well to give that eye some weight. The medium one goes here, and then the little one goes right there. So I've created a triangle. The odd numbers, they make it pleasing to the eye, and we created that triangle. I know I talk about that all the time. And let's do this one. So we could put that right there, and the medium one goes right there, and then put the lighter one, or the smallest one, up at the top. Okay, so now let's get the Wink of Stella out, because we got to have some fun with that. And I'm going to grab my mat again, because I need to clean out the color. So for this one, I'm just going to do the center, because I want to keep the color of the kind of the two-tone. I want to keep that going. And then if I make the blue, I don't want to make the blue bleed into the pink of this, the strawberry slush. So I'm just going to leave the centers, the only thing with the glitter on it. So have a lovely day. What do you think? Which one do you like the best? Do you like the strawberry slush, or do you like the Petunia Pop? Now this one, I'm just going to kind of do some darker blue spots with the Secret Sea. A little bits in there. And like I said, I'm going to do 4 winners to win the cards. And I'm also going to be downloading this video onto my YouTube page over at Joy Borwedge, just so that if you see this picture on Instagram, hashtag number 408, and you go to my Facebook page and number 408 is gone because it only has a 30-day shelf life, then it's on my YouTube page as well. Okay, so this is the third. This is card number 2, and this is card number 1. So 1, 2, and 3. But like I said, it's going to be 2 winners. So which card is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? What do you think? And so if you missed, this is what the inside of card number 1 looks like. So that is for you. You made my whole day. This one is a cone flower. Just like that. Pauline, hi, welcome. And then here is the have a lovely day. All right, so to get entered, you're going to need to do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets your name entered into the drawing. Then leave a comment. All you have to do is say hi. If you pick 1, 2, or 3, that's an entry. And then share this on your timeline. That's helping me get my name out there. And also, maybe there is a paper crafter on your timeline that would be inspired by seeing this video. So I want to say thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. I hope to return sometime around Thursday. We'll see how the week goes. My supervisor, the lead that's in charge of our area is gone, so I'm going to be in charge this week. And I don't know how, hopefully we've been slow. So hopefully it's not going to ramp up and I'll be able to do it on Thursday like I normally do. I should say it's not normally, but I prefer Wednesday or Thursday. So hopefully I will be back on Thursday. If not, watch your Facebook feed, set your notifications, like, share, do all the things because I so appreciate it. And then go to my YouTube page and do the same thing. Like, share. It helps me out. Have a great week, everybody. Take care and happy stamping.